Mr. Toups, the Jedi believe, and you're in his office, okay? This is where I create the videos that my students make on the test reviews, and I'll show you some tricks on that later on. Some of the videos you'll see this year, I'll be in my office, and some of them I'll be in my classroom, which is the Always Believe room at George Ranch High School. Today I'm going to talk to you about video presentations. There's thousands of teachers across the country that either last year or this year made their own YouTube channel and they're uploading videos to teach kids this year. So how can you make videos that entertain and engage, okay? We're going to talk about this. The next slide you're seeing here, okay, is extremely important. This came from an episode of The Big Bang Theory, Season 4, Episode 14. This is huge. What Amy Farrah Fowler says to Sheldon Cooper, who basically bombed out teaching a college class. In its essence, teaching is a performance art. In the classroom paradigm, the teacher has the responsibility to communicate as well as entertain and engage. And just read this again and again. Teachers, we've got to be more entertaining than this cell phone. You're not teaching robots. You are not teaching robots. If you're just talking in a monotone voice and this cell phone is more entertaining than you, they're going to tune you out. If you watch the episode on The Big Bang Theory, that's basically what happens to Sheldon Cooper. You've got to engage and create moments with those kids that make them want to come to your class or watch your next video. And this is going to teach you how to do this. Okay, so a very powerful quote, and hopefully after this you can entertain and engage your kids through your lessons. Okay, the next slide you're seeing up here, this is how I generate moments in my class, and it creates intrinsic learning. Okay, the very first thing you want to do, the most important thing, is to be positive. When they come into your room or when they watch you on video on YouTube, you need to be a positive presence in their life. Do not be down and out. Smile and generate a smile with the kids and be positive. After this video, the first day of school is huge. In my theory, the first day of school, you should tell your kids about you. Then spend the rest of the year learning from the kids about them. The more you tell the kids about you, they're going to open up and tell me about them. So the first day of school, I blow the kids away with a great presentation, and that presentation will be after this video if you want to keep watching this. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Second step is to believe. The kids need to know that you believe in them. I made my first classroom rule, always believe in yourself, in 1990, and somehow, some way, through nonverbal communication, I'm able to generate belief in the kids. That's what the kids remember about me, that they believe that they could succeed. Some of them never have succeeded in math, and through my nonverbal communication, I inspire them to believe that they could succeed. The next step is love. A lot of principals tell the teachers you need to love the kids, but they don't tell you how to love them. That's big. How do you love the kids? You're going to learn that in this video. And lastly, if you do these steps, the kids will start learning intrinsically. That's what we want. We want the kids to do this stuff, to behave, and to do their work intrinsically. They're doing it because of the love they have for the teacher. If you're able to set that tone, it is huge, okay? And you will inspire your kids. In 1990, when I started teaching, I made it my goal that my kids describe who I am with these words. Not knowing what I was doing or how I was doing it, it's done through nonverbal communication. Basically, I learned it. I just read these words every day. Notice I did not generate these words. It's from Scripture, okay? But my actions have produced student letters at the end of year, and these descriptors are in those letters. And that's huge. So somehow, some way, through my nonverbal communication, I am generating these words and the kids are drawing pictures, they're writing notes to me, and these words are in those letters. And it's amazing to look back on my 30-year career and find out that I'm succeeding at this and no one taught me how to do it. And you're about to learn some steps on this. I'll do more videos through the year so that you can generate these words. One of the ones I want to talk to you right now is the goodness. At the bottom, I guess it'll be your bottom left. The kids are not going to describe you with the word goodness. Goodness is the best of anything. Goodness means that a kid will say to you at the end of the year, I couldn't wait to go to your class every day. That's goodness. You need to do that with the videos you're creating that the kids are watching. You need to make that part of their day the very best part of it, okay? That's huge. Make it the best part of their day. That generates goodness. Now then, I'm going to tell you in the videos that I'm making just like this, I firmly believe that my kids need to physically see my body, hear me, and teach the lesson. When I'm teaching in my classroom, my whiteboard's over here and I'm writing on my Surface tablet and the kids can see what I'm writing and they can visually see me, and I'm still able to non-verbally communicate with them. That's really big. Now then, we're going to talk mostly about, on these descriptors, the most important one of these descriptors, as you can see, is love. Love generates all those other descriptors. So how do you love the kids? That's huge. Love will generate those, and it will also generate joy. People ask me, why are you so happy? It's not that I'm happy, it's that I have joy that these kids are describing me with these words. And if you look at this diagram, this is generated by myself on my career on how I've done this. All these generate joy, and that is evident in my life. So what we're going to do right now is talk about how do the kids describe you? How are you going to love these kids through these videos? And I'm going to show you some ways. This right here is a diagram on how I think I have loved my students. Okay, and this can be replicated. Notice that the very first thing on the top left is to be positive. When you're positive with them, they will want to come to your class or watch your video. It will be the goodness of their day. Okay, so be positive. Make sure you're smiling. Make sure the kids know that you're wanting to do what you do. Be passionate about it. The next step is unique, and this is extremely important if you're doing this virtually. If you're doing this virtually, you've got to find out information about the kids. I'm personally in Canvas am going to use discussion threads. And what is important, you've got to respond to those kids with a unique response. Don't reply the same response to the kids. They know it's going to be fake. Gently read their response and try to respond with a unique response. The kids need feedback. If the kids can see that you're trying to get to learn them, even though you're not seeing them physically, it's going to generate that uniqueness that you're learning about them, and that's going to generate love. And that's going to have to be done in discussion threads. You're going to have to find somehow, some way to get to know your kids virtually. That's huge. Now then, the next step is to empathy. Technology will not always work every day. We've got to realize that. So show your kids empathy. With virtually, you could do that, okay? Realize that not every day they're going to be able to succeed at their lesson. Show them empathy this way. Obviously, if it's face-to-face, you can talk to them personally and have that. You can still Zoom call with them one-on-one and kind of get some feedback that way. And just show them that you care about them. That will generate love. When the kids know that you have empathy toward, if you show that to someone else in the room, they're going to know that, and it will generate empathy with the other kids. And lastly, smile. Do something to generate a smile every day. And you're about to see a video on how I do this. Okay? I try to make my kids smile every day. If you make them smile, love will be generated. They will want to be in your room. It generates goodness. It generates the best part of their day. Somehow, some way, on your video, on your video lesson, you need to do something that generates a smile. And I'm about to show you one way I do that, okay? When I started teaching in 1990, a few years later, a show called Home Improvement started. Had Tim the Toolman Taylor, Tim Allen, and I thought I could go to school every day and be like Tim Taylor. And so I used the grunts, the more power chants, more power. The kids love it. It puts a smile on their face. And you're about to see me do this, how I would do this in one of my lessons. Okay, so what you're about to view now is me. I would be like I'm teaching my kids, okay? This right here in 6th grade, 7th grade, when you teach circumference and they learn about pi, when you take the circumference and divide it by the diameter, you always get 3.14. So this right here would be at the end of this lesson. All right, kids, we just learned that if you take the circumference of any circle and divide it by its diameter, you always get about what number? That's right, it's about 3 in it, no matter what you get on your calculator. Most of y'all had right at 3, and most of y'all hopefully had 3.1, right? That's correct. So these circles, when you divide them by a diameter, generate the same number, and that's called pi. Speaking of circles, what's the coolest thing you could eat? What's the most delicious thing you know that's a circle? Not a pie. It's a cookie. That's right, cookies. Oh, an Oreo cookie. Oreo cookies are like, oh, they're so good. Oh, they're just delicious. I love, Mr. Toots loves Oreos. Speaking of Oreos, do you know how to properly eat an Oreo cookie? What's the best way? No, you don't turn it. That's a cool way, but that's not it. You don't just eat a little bit of it. You don't eat this. No, you don't eat around the edges and eat the middle. That's kind of cool too. How can you eat an Oreo cookie with more power? You have to use a fork. So y'all are looking at me like, how do you eat an Oreo with a fork? First off, you don't start off with the sissy single stuff. You need a manly man. You need a double stuffed Oreo or even the mega stuff. Then you take your fork, you stick it into the stuffing. And then you got to get milk, right? Now, some of y'all said milk when to eat an Oreo. You got to have the milk, okay? And you take the cookie on the fork and you put it at the bottom of the milk. And then the Oreo, you'll see bubbles, okay? Now then, what happens in the swimming pool when you go to the bottom of the swimming pool? That's right, your ears start popping, right? So what happens when you put because of the pressure of the water, right? What happens when you put the Oreo cookie at the bottom of the milk? Right, the pressure's greater, right? So the milk will soak into the Oreo cookie. Yeah, it's cool stuff, huh? So you put it down there, it'll start bubbling. About 20 seconds later, the bubbles stop. That means the Oreo cookie has soaked in all that milk. Then you take the Oreo cookie out of there, and you put the whole thing in your mouth, and just poof, the cookie just evaporates in your mouth, and you bite into the stuffing. That is like more power. That is great. Now then, I would tell one of these stories like this about once 2 to 3 weeks. The kids go home and tell their parents about these stories. I have parent notes, and this is what's called a Toups story. Some of the parents have told me that having me as a teacher is not just learning math, it's an experience. And it's an experience because I use stories like this, I'm animated, and I generate smiles in my kids every day. This is another good quote right here on the Oreo cookies. It just solves problems, right? Lastly, at the end of each day that you have with your kids, either virtually or in class, you need to tell them something positive. My kids are going to see one of my memes, self-generated memes, and I'm going to tell them, you're awesome. Usually in face-to-face classrooms, as they leave my room, I point to them and say, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome. And it's genuine. The kids know it's genuine. I'm not fluffing it. If they're not having a good day, it's like, you're going to get it tomorrow. I don't tell them they're awesome if they have it, like if they're doing bad or something, but I tell them something positive every day. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. If you need to contact me, okay, you could go to toopsgraphics.com. That's my webpage. On YouTube, if you're teaching Algebra 1, you're in for a treat. I'm going to be videoing on the Texas Teaks. I'll be videoing all my lessons and posting them. And on YouTube, you can tag them by Teak, okay? Which is going to be pretty awesome. And then on Twitter, please give me a follow at Toups_J. At Toups_J. I hope you do good this year. I'll be doing more videos as the year goes on. If you want me to do a video on how I do what I do, please let me know. My plan right now to teach my kids virtually, right now we're supposed to be doing face-to-face and virtual at the same time. I'm going to put a camcorder or an iPad in the front of my room and link the iPad to my laptop and use it as a mirror image and make that the default window in Zoom. So I'm going to share a screen through my iPad and mirror cast it to the laptop, and that is what the kids will see with me in Zoom. So it will be like they're in the classroom. Good luck. We're going to learn a lot together. And as Jimmy Casa said in Culturize, be a leader. Help your co-workers. Everyone can help someone else. Be the leader that your teachers need and that your kids need. And we'll get through this year. We're all going to get better. Remember, you are awesome and always believe. Hello, that's Mr. Toups. Pretty cool, all the places I've been. I'm so glad you're in this room today or virtually. And I'm blessed to be your teacher this year. My name is Mr. Touts, and I love my job. I've been teaching for this is my 31st year to teach, and I wake up and I want to go to work since 1990. It has been a blessed career. Made my first classroom rule, always believe in yourself in 1990, and that's what the kids will remember about my class. So you're in a treat this year. Before we get going, I want you to think about the first thing you remember. Okay? So you have a piece of paper at the bottom of that thing. Put your first memory. The first thing you remember. So what's the first thing you remember? Okay, and I'm going to tell you about the first thing I remember because it's going to make an impact on the way I teach you. Okay? So it was the summer before I started kindergarten. So I guess I was 5 years old. I was playing stickball at my neighbor's house, okay? So my neighbor, we had a ball, and we were playing with a stick like baseball, and I was 5 years old. My neighbor was 9 years old. He was like 3 times bigger than me. And strike one, strike two, he struck me out, okay? So he should have pitched the ball and let me hit it, right? So he strikes me out, and he starts making fun of me, like, you're never gonna be worth anything, and you got out. Okay, so I went over there dejected, and then the next guy got up, and he was striking him out, and I thought, I'm going to get him back. So I went around, and I found an oak tree limb, and I walked behind him while he was doing his victory celebration, and with both hands, bam, right on his posterior. Okay? So the stick shattered in pieces, okay? Before he could turn around, I'm running home as fast as I can, about 100 yards away, just 2 houses over, right? If I get in my door, I'm safe. Mom is going to protect me, right? I didn't make it, okay? He was like, he would take 1 step and I would take 3. So he caught me. I fell down on the ground. I rolled over on the back. I put both my hands up over my face. And he had this broke part of the shattered stick in his hand. And he launches it at me. And I vividly remember this. The first thing I remember in my life. I had both my hands up and that stick went right through my fingers and hit me in this eye. And from that moment on, that was the last clear image I saw out of this right eye. My eye started bleeding. I ran home, went to the doctor, okay, had it fixed. But this eye is called a lazy eye. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but if I'm looking at you, like I'm looking right here, and it's like, who are you looking at? So this eye This eye doesn't look where it's supposed to go, okay? It looks off to the right. My left eye has the bead on you, okay? So like when I'm teaching, that's kind of weird. It's like Mr. Toups is looking at two different places. I gotta look at my left eye, okay? So my left eye is who I'm looking at. So you gotta get used to that, because like, who are you looking at? So my left eye works, right eye doesn't. I try to stop the stick, okay? That accident, first thing I ever remember, changed the rest of my life. If it would not have been for that accident, I would not be a teacher. I would have taken a different career path. I would have done different things in school. I couldn't play sports, so I was a trainer. Okay, and being an athletic trainer eventually paid for my college and paid for tuition and books. If that stick wouldn't have happened, I doubt I would have been a trainer. It's just amazing the way that works out. So just think about that. The bad things that happened to you as a child, you may not know why, but when you look back on your life, if you keep picking right over wrong, it's going to work out. I never thought that eye injury would put me in a job where I'll wake up for 3 decades. I'll wake up and want to go to work. A blessed career, okay? So that's my first memory. Now then, today, instead of just going over the rules and regulations, I'm going to tell you about me, okay? And then as the year goes on, I will get to know you better, okay? So we're going to start off this with my favorite things, okay? These are a few of my favorite things that will kind of tell you about who I am, okay? Let's start off with color. Okay, I went to Port Neches Groves. I grew up in South of Beaumont by Louisiana from like 2 years old all the way to 23. I lived in Port Neches. Okay, they were the Port Neches Groves Indians, and they were purple and white. Friday Night Lights was a big deal in Port Neches, anywhere in East Texas, okay? So every Friday night in the fall, I was at the reservation when they had a home game, and it became part of who I am. My first job was in Killeen, and then I ended up in a town called Dayton, Texas, which is just like if this is Houston right here, Sugar Land's down here, Dayton's up here, okay? So I was there for 20 years. The Dayton Broncos, they were also purple and white. So like for 40 years of my 54 years, I wore purple and white. So purple's kind of like my favorite color. As the introduction video showed when you came in here, I love to travel. When I was in college, I remember griping at my mom saying, "You never took me anywhere." And now I've traveled in all 48 of the bottom states. I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii. And I've also been to Canada and Mexico, as you saw in that video when you came in. I love to travel, and I love to take pictures and video, okay? So you're going to see a lot of video of me this year. If you're virtual, kind of cool, because I know how to do all that stuff, okay? Now then, the TV show. This has impacted me more than anything. My favorite TV show, started teaching in 1990. I think in 1992, a TV show called Home Improvement came out. Okay? So Home Improvement started, and love that show. It featured Tim Allen, who was the Santa Claus in the movie Santa Claus. Those Santa Clauses 1, 2, and 3. Tim Allen was the star in that. He was Tim the Toolman Taylor in Home Improvement, and he had a show called Tool Time in the Home Improvement show. This is where the more power and the that's where all these grunts and sound effects come from that you will hear me this year. So if you ever watch Home Improvement, you're going to come to the, "Mr. Toups, have you seen Home Improvement? You're just like Tim Taylor." It's like, yeah. So since the mid-90s, I have waken up and I have pretended to be Tim the Toolman Taylor. If I could pick one person, if I were wished one person to meet, anyone in the world, I would pick Tim Allen and tell him, "Thank you for making my classes a blast." He has influenced thousands of kids to always believe. So if Tim Allen's sometimes watching this, would love to meet you face to face, shake your hand, and tell you thank you. Okay, big impact on my life. So Home Improvement is my favorite TV show. Cartoons, you will get to hear me say these cartoons, okay? Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock, actually before 8 o'clock, I got up, poured some bowl of cereal, got some milk. Mom and Dad were still sleeping. Turned on the TV, ABC. I only had ABC, CBS, and NBC. That's all. I didn't have all these thousands. Did not have the Cartoon Network with 24-hour cartoons, okay? So, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, ABC, the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. Okay, so you will hear me do some of the sound effects from the, I'm not going to do it today, saving it up, okay? But I will change my voice to some of these characters as the years go on. Sport, like I said, I grew up at Port Neches Groves. Every Friday home game, I was there. I didn't miss it. Football, I just love Friday Night Lights. I've gone 16 years without missing one game, okay? So for 16 years, I videoed every game. I started videoing the games at Dayton, and I'm blessed to be able to do that. You see me, you could get a Believe selfie at one of the football games. It's a blessing that I'm able to be part of the kids' lives. Those Friday nights are probably the biggest nights of my life. So pretty cool that I'm allowed to do that here at George Ranch. I'm blessed to be here. Okay, now then, for you to know me a little bit better, we're going to do 2 truths and a lie. We're going to do 3 sets of that. So this is going to be pretty cool because you're going to find out a lot about me. On the piece of paper you have, there's 3 sets of 2 truths and a lie, right? Okay? So one of these is a lie. One of these is a lie. Teacher of the year. Okay, never did I make A's. I never made straight A's. Is that a truth or a lie? The greatest sandal tan at George Ranch High School. Okay, which one of these is a lie? So on your paper, you're going to circle either the 1, the 2, or the 3. Okay, so we're going to go through. I'm going to tell you the 2 truths. Okay, so teacher of the year, straight A's, and sandal tan. Okay, in 2001, I was blessed. My co-workers voted me teacher of the year. This is me being Tim the tool man, or Tim the tax man Toups. Okay, loved it there. Just blessed that I was able to be part of that and be elected teacher of the year. Pretty neat stuff. Okay, the second truth. So it's either the sandal tan or the straight A's is a falsehood, right? So which one is it? Check this out. Oh. That is a sandal tan with more power. Okay, look at the contrast. I got Cajun brown skin. Never ever have I peeled from a sunburn. Okay, so I got Cajun skin. My dad grew up in the Lafayette area of Louisiana. Pretty neat stuff, guys. You want to be a bag magnet? Walk barefoot on the beach with this? Wow! All the chicks are like, that guy is cool. I want to get to know him. Okay, so that means the falsehood or the lie was the straight A's, right? I never ever made an A in English. That was my holdup. All my life, usually in high school, I made straight A's and 1 B. The B was in English. I grew up in East Texas. If the grammar books were written, let's say Kirbyville, Sperger, Zavala, Lufkin, Jasper, Newton. Okay, if the grammar books would have been written in one of those towns, I would have an A in grammar. But the grammar books are written in Boston, and I just don't talk like that. So I would make an A in content. I could write the stuff out, but the grammar was bad. I get a C in content, a B. So, and then once I got to college once I got to English in the college classes, I was taking these math classes, and it was by the grace of God that I got credit. Okay, so I minored in math, and I never made an A in one of those high-level math classes. Okay, so I never made straight A's. But in March 2015, I became an author. Okay, or 2016. That's just amazing that I never made an A in English. I started writing when this is an amazing book. The first 3 chapters, the first chapter is about my eye injury. The next 2 are about tragedies that happened to me as a child. And when you read those, there's going to be like, no way Mr. Toots could be like that after going through that. Okay, so these first 3 chapters in this book are about the 3 most traumatic days of my childhood. And basically you read the rest of the book. It's like how I overcame that. And I ended up being in a job I love. Okay, so pretty cool book here. Okay, now then, hopefully you got that right. We're going to go to the next set. Okay, 2 truths and a lie. Okay, so one of these is a lie. Have I ran a marathon, knee hang catch on a trapeze like the circus, or a hole-in-one in golf? Okay, so the marathon, the trapeze, or the hole-in-one. Circle which one you think the lie is. On your piece of paper, that second one, circle the 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to give you the 2 truths and then the lie, okay? So the marathon, the trapeze, the hole-in-one. And we're going to go here next. This is the lake at the summer camp I've worked at for 19 summers. If this was Pennsylvania, the summer camp I worked at was in the top right corner in the Poconos called Camp Cayuga. And at Camp Cayuga, I was Tex. That was my favorite nickname I ever had. When I left Dayton after 20 years and moved to here, I was like, I told my wife, it's like, I could be called Tex because no one really knows who I am. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to be Tex in Texas, right? But my wife said, I don't own horses, I'm not a politician, and I don't own an oil rig, so I can't be Tex in Texas. So, all right, Mr. Toups. But anyway, at Camp Cayuga, I am Tex, okay? This is one of the coolest days of my life, and it happened in 1999.
This is Tex's first attempt at a knee hand catch on the flying trapeze. Take one.
The summer camp I worked at was just amazing. This is one of the activities the kids could do. Pretty neat.
Let's rock and roll.
That's me right here.
Ready! Hook! Go back. There's something now. Lift your knees on the bar. Oh, come on. Heads off. Heads back.
Pretty cool stuff, okay? This is one of the activities they could do at that camp. They could sign up for 60 activities every day, and they would have like 1 hour periods, and they would just go to those activity periods. What a great way to spend a summer. I was the photographer there for 16 of the summers that I worked there, and I just took pictures of the happiest moments of the kids' life. This was the third time I did the trapeze, and I retired. I never did it again. To the guys and girls in here, gymnastics, if you have good body kinesthetics, when you get to the top of this swing in physics, you're actually weightless. And you can, like, if you have good body kinesthetics, you can like do flips, and amazing what the kids learned to do in a short amount of time they were at the camp. It's an 8-week sleepaway camp, but the kids could only sign up for this like once or twice a day, so they couldn't spend all day here. Just amazing what the kids could do here. Cool stuff. So that leaves the hole-in-one or the marathon. Which one's the lie? Okay, the next one is going to be a truth, and it is a hole-in-one. Mr. Toups actually made a hole-in-one in golf. 9-iron, just hit it. It hit the green. It disappeared. It went in the hole. It was pretty cool. And I was playing with 3 more people, so I had witnesses. So like, yeah, I have a hole-in-one. So that golf ball, this is like in my office, in my house, and I still got the golf ball. Top flight. Oh. Top flight gives you more power. Okay, that means the lie is a marathon, right? But Mr. Toups did run track. I couldn't see out of my right eye. So basically, I just ran, and looking back at my life, that I don't think I would have been able to get through high school and college when you read my book if I wouldn't have ran as much as I did. That helped. That was huge. This is me finishing a 4:44 mile. Okay? Pretty cool stuff. I'm still Facebook friends with these 2 guys. So neat stuff. So number 1 was the lie, okay? And I did run a 17-minute 5K run my senior year. That's probably the best time I ever did. That probably could have walked on to college. But looking back at my life when I was a track trainer at Lamar, I was like, no way I could have competed at college in track. So I'm glad I was a trainer because it paid for tuition and books. Now then we're going to go on to the last set. I hope y'all are having a blast. This is probably different than what you did in your other classes today, so hopefully you are enjoying this. We're going to have 2 more truths and a lie. Okay. By the way, as you go through this year, Mr. Toups takes all the background pictures you'll ever see in a PowerPoint. If you were in my room to look around, I've taken all these pictures, okay? Some neat stuff here, so I love to take pictures. So one of these is a lie, okay? Pictures on currency, a middle sibling, or am I referred to as a Jedi? Okay, so which one of these is a lie? Picture on currency, that means I'm on money you could use. Middle sibling and referred to as a Jedi. Which one is the lie? Okay. Oh, so we got the picture, the sibling, and the Jedi. Okay, we're going to go and Mr. Toots is old money. That's text. This is Camp Cayuga money. Pretty cool stuff. They use this money at the camp for camp carnival days and casino nights. They'll set the gym up as a casino and they have all the games and the kids go spend this money. If they have the extra money, the cabin wins points, okay? And I actually own money. Cool stuff. Okay, so I am on money, okay? Now then, that leaves the Jedi. What was the other one? See, the Jedi or the middle sibling, right? So the middle sibling or the Jedi is falsehood, right? So the next one. Whoa, look at this. The Jedi, I believe, will be 12. Really cool stuff. When I came here, the Booster Club knew about what I was doing in Dayton with the Always Believe. That's how I ended up at this school. I thank my blessings that I'm here. And I've been able to use this Always Believe theme. It's really been a blessing, but I am referred to as the Jedi, I believe, in Twitter world. That's kind of cool, right? So think about this, guys and ladies. If I'm a Jedi, right? Oh, Jedi, I believe, right? If I'm a Jedi and you're my students, what does that make you? Any Star Wars? That's right. You're a Padawan learner. Look at that. He's like, oh, yeah, you're a Padawan learner. That's pretty cool, huh? You never thought you would be a Padawan learner. Now you are, right? Star Wars fans, you are living your dream. That means the lie is the middle sibling, right? So now you're going to see my family. This is my sister. She's 4 years older than I am. This was our senior pictures. Okay, and this is my mom, dad. This is me when I was about 3. Okay, check this out. I'm going clam digging after the picture, right? Okay, anyway, okay, you grow out of your seats, right? Pretty cool stuff. That I was not a middle sibling. I was the younger, okay? So neat stuff. I hope you've had a blast today. Okay, if you haven't thought of the first thing that you remember, you're going to write that at the bottom of the page. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over the expectations and rules. I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll get to know each other as the year goes on. And remember, you are awesome.